Imagine this. A healthy 52-year-old patient told me something interesting. He said, "Doctor, I feel like my strength is disappearing." He wasn't sick. His blood tests were normal. But he noticed something subtle. Climbing stairs felt harder. Standing up from a chair took more effort. And his walking pace had slowed down. What he didn't realize was this: his body had already begun losing muscle. And the frightening part is, most people don't notice this process until nearly 1/3 of their muscle mass is already gone. But here is the important part. Doctors can often detect early muscle loss using a few very simple physical tests. No complicated equipment, no expensive scans, just basic movements your body performs every day. In the next few minutes, I will show you 4 simple medical tests that may reveal whether your muscles are still strong or quietly weakening. And one of these tests is so powerful that researchers say it can actually predict your risk of future health problems, and in fact, the strongest predictors of longevity. So, stay with me because you might want to try this test before the video ends.
Most adults assume muscle loss only happens in old age, but the reality is much more concerning. Beginning around age 40, the body gradually begins losing muscle mass each year. By the time many adults reach their 60s, they may have already lost 20 to 30% of their muscle mass. This condition is called sarcopenia. At first, your body shows subtle physical signs such as a forward head posture while walking, rounded shoulders. Your muscles become slightly smaller. Your strength slowly declines. Your metabolism begins to slow down. And many people only realize this when everyday movements start to feel harder. But here is where the real danger appears. Muscle is not just about a strength, it plays a critical role in blood sugar control, balance, joint stability, and even longevity. And this raises an important question. How do you know if your muscles are already beginning to weaken? Well, doctors often start with simple functional tests.
And the first one might surprise you because it involves nothing more than a chair.
Doctors often begin by evaluating something called the chair stand test. It sounds simple, but it can reveal a lot about your muscle health. Here's how it works. Sit in a chair with your arms crossed over your chest. Then stand up and sit down 5 times as quickly as possible without using your hands. Healthy adults should complete this in less than 10 seconds. If it takes longer, it may suggest reduced strength in the large muscles of the thighs and hips. And those muscles are essential for one critical function, mobility. Without strong leg muscles, everyday activities slowly become more difficult. Walking slows down, balance declines, and the risk of falling increases dramatically.
And the second test I will show you is actually the one many adults struggle with the most, even when they think they are in good shape. This test is one doctors and researchers take very seriously because it measures something called functional endurance. And surprisingly, it has been linked to long-term survival.
The test is known as the 6-minute walk test. The goal is simple. Walk as far as you comfortably can in 6 minutes. Healthy adults between 40 and 60 typically walk 500 to 650 meters. If the distance is significantly lower, it may suggest reduced muscle endurance or cardiovascular capacity. And this matters because walking speed has been called one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging. Slower walking speeds often reflect declining muscle function, which can eventually lead to fatigue, reduced mobility, and loss of independence. But there is another test that reveals something many people overlook: balance. Balance depends heavily on small stabilizing muscles throughout the body. These muscles help control posture, coordination, and joint stability. To try this test, simply stand on one leg. Healthy adults over 40 should be able to maintain balance for at least 20 seconds. If balancing becomes difficult, it may indicate weakness in the hips, core, or lower leg muscles, and those muscles are essential for preventing falls later in life. Note this: loss of balance is often one of the earliest warning signs that muscle strength is declining.
But the next test may surprise you even more because it involves your hands. In medicine, grip strength is sometimes called a window into total body strength. And researchers have discovered something remarkable. Grip strength may actually correlate with overall health and longevity or long-term survival.
Here, doctors measure grip strength using a device called a dynamometer. Healthy grip strength usually exceeds 27 kilograms for men and 16 kilograms for women. Lower values may indicate early muscle loss, but more importantly, reduced grip strength has been associated with higher cardiovascular risk, greater frailty, and reduced lifespan. Its impact on overall health makes grip strength one of the simplest but most powerful indicators of muscle health.
By the way, I am curious. Which of these tests do you think will be hardest for you? Let me know in the comments. Okay, if this test revealed declining muscle strength, the next logical question is this: why does muscle loss happen in the first place?
One of the most common causes is insufficient protein intake. As we age, the body becomes less responsive to dietary protein, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. This means adults over 40 often require more protein to maintain muscle. Vitamin D deficiency can also weaken muscle because muscle cells contain vitamin D receptors. Chronic inflammation, poor sleep, and ultra-processed diets can further accelerate muscle breakdown. Over time, these factors slowly reduce muscle size and strength. But there is some encouraging news. Muscle is one of the most adaptable tissues in the human body.
That means, even after muscle loss begins, the body still has a remarkable ability to rebuild strength. In this context, 3 strategies make the biggest difference.
First, resistance training at least 2 to 3 times per week. Even modest strength training can dramatically improve muscle function and independence. Second, adequate protein intake consumption, about 1.0 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, supports muscle repair. And third, maintaining healthy levels of vitamin D improves muscle function. In fact, research has shown that even adults in their 60s and 70s can significantly improve muscle strength with consistent training, which means the earlier you detect muscle decline, the easier it becomes to reverse it.
In my clinical experience, one of the earliest signs of declining health in adults over 50 is not disease. It is loss of muscle strength. And once muscle declines, several problems often follow. Metabolism slows down. Blood sugar control worsens. Balance becomes unstable, and the risk of injury increases. But when patients begin rebuilding muscle strength, many of these problems start improving as well, which is why identifying muscle loss early can make an enormous difference in long-term health. Alright, here are some important tests worth discussing with your physician because several routine laboratory tests can offer early clues about muscle health. For instance, low creatinine levels may reflect reduced muscle mass. Vitamin D testing can identify deficiencies that impair muscle function. Also, markers such as albumin or prealbumin can indicate protein status. In men, low testosterone levels may also contribute to muscle decline. Now, here is something I encourage you to do today. Try the chair stand test. If it feels more difficult than expected, your body may already be signaling that your muscles need attention. But the encouraging part is this: with the right nutrition and strength training, muscle can be rebuilt at any age. And small changes today can make a huge difference in how strong and independent you remain in the years ahead. If you found this information helpful, subscribe for more physician-led insights designed to help you age stronger and healthier. Also, you may want to watch my recent video explaining why recovery slows down after 40.